are watching COVID 360. I'm Sneha Murdani. The world is gripped in anxiety. There is a new variant, and in a week's time of being labelled as a variant of concern, this variant has been seen in over 30 countries. In this episode, we get you a 360-degree view of the new variant, the Omicron variant, the very latest we know so far and also what we do not know. How is the world gearing up to handle Omicron, and how is India gearing up to meet this huge challenge as the country also reports cases of the Omicron variant? Cases of the Omicron variant have been found in India. Here's a complete report on what the government has said on the kind of preparations underway to deal with the fifth variant of concern, which has left India unspared as well.
Big Omicron scare across India, with the mutant now surfacing in the national capital Delhi. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain confirmed the first case of the Omicron variant of the coronavirus in Delhi. The patient, who returned from Tanzania, has been admitted to the special Omicron ward at the LNJP hospital in Delhi.
प्रीलिमिनरी रिपोर्ट के अंदर वो पॉजिटिव हैं ओमिक्रॉन से, फिर भी जो लैब से फाइनल रिपोर्ट इशू की जाएगी वो कल की जाएगी। सिम्टम जितने ज़्यादा होंगे उसी हिसाब से इलाज किया जाता है। ऑक्सीजन की थेरेपी है, स्टेरॉइड्स हैं, दवाइयाँ देनी है, वो सब कुछ सेम है, उसमें कोई ट्रीटमेंट प्रोटोकॉल में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं होता है, बट हाँ उसको आइसोलेट करने की जरूरत होती है, आइसोलेट किया गया है।
The patient has mild symptoms, including fever, which has now subsided, but he still has a sore throat and is under constant observation of the doctors.
ये एक पेशेंट ऐसा है जिसके हल्का गले में दर्द है और शुरू में हल्का बुखार था, तो उसके लिए हमने सिम्टोमेटिक ट्रीटमेंट दिया है। बॉडी एक है, थोड़ा हल्का बदन में दर्द है और थोड़ा वीकनेस है, और सबसे जो महत्वपूर्ण बात है ये है कि इनको रेस्पिरेटरी सिम्टम्स नहीं है, कफ नहीं है, खांसी नहीं है, रेस्पिरेटरी।
Screening has been intensified at the Mumbai International Airport after a South Africa returnee was detected with the Omicron variant on Saturday. The 33-year-old patient is a resident of Dombivli and is unvaccinated.
1 नवंबर से अभी तक जो इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट पे जो ट्रैवल किए हुए लोग हैं उन सभी की जांच की गई है और करीबन 3,800 लोगों की जांच की गई है, जिसमें सभी लोगों की जांच करते हुए 6 लोग पॉजिटिव आए हैं, लेकिन वो ओमाइक्रॉन पॉजिटिव है ऐसा सिद्ध नहीं हुआ है।
Very importantly, there were 25 people along with this particular person who travelled from Delhi to Mumbai. All were traced out and all were found tested negative for COVID-19. More contact tracing is being done by the officials.
The civic body of Karnataka tracked down all the 10 people who arrived in the state from South Africa on November 20th and subsequently went missing.
ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲಾಗಿದೆ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ.
As of now, the Chief Minister has stated that any area that has 3 or more COVID cases will now be declared as a cluster. Initially, it was 10 cases to be declared as a cluster. They have revised that.
The government at the centre has cautioned, asking states to focus on testing, tracking, treatment, screen international travellers and monitor emerging hotspots. Experts caution an impending third wave if the virus fight falters.
अभी का आकलन ये बताता है कि अगले साल के शुरू में अपने उच्चतम स्तर पे इसकी संख्या शायद 1 लाख से 1.5 लाख के बीच में जा सकती है, लेकिन जो मेरा अंदाज है कि जैसे जैसे संख्या बढ़ेगी थोड़ा बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्शन हर जगह लगने लगेंगे, तो शायद पीक उतना भी ना पहुंच पाए, 1 लाख भी ना पहुंच पाए, उससे कम ही रह जाए।
Vaccinating and using masks still remain critical for India as it is no time to let the guard down. Bureau Report, India Today.
Many people are asking the question on whether the symptoms of those patients infected with coronavirus this time around, infected with a new variant of Omicron, is any different from the symptoms that the previous patients had shown who were not infected with Omicron. The answer to that is a big yes. The symptoms are indeed different. What are the new symptoms then? Tiredness, scratchy throat, mild muscle ache and dry cough seem to be the symptoms of Omicron right now. The old symptoms of loss of smell, taste and cough is not being seen in patients who are being detected with the Omicron variant. Will RT-PCR tests help diagnosis? Yes, says the World Health Organization. Yes is the answer from the Indian Council of Medical Research as well. Does it cause more severe disease? WHO says that we do not know just yet if the Omicron variant causes more severe infection. Does it cause more infections? WHO says it's unclear, but it appears right now from whatever evidence is there that it indeed is causing more infections. Why do viruses mutate? And why a sick body is the perfect host for a virus to replicate and render vaccines and naturally acquired immunity ineffective? Here is an explainer. Viruses mutate, and that is a reality we have to live with. Well, that really is a word from experts. It is a natural process. Viruses change during reproduction. In the case of Omicron, doctors from South Africa say that prolonged infection in a patient suffering from AIDS, essentially an immunocompromised patient, has actually caused the mutation. Prolonged infection allows the virus to replicate or reproduce for a longer duration inside the body of the patient. The compromised immune response leads to emergence of mutations that make the virus less susceptible to antibodies, which simply means that it makes the virus more powerful against vaccines and naturally acquired immunity. Mutations are changes in the genetic code which could improve the way the virus performs. It could mean the virus improves its ability to infect more people or make people more severely ill. Now here's why prolonged infection can be the perfect scenario for the virus. Now in case of coronavirus, reproduction or replication or making a copy can occur only inside a body. Viruses can't replicate outside the host. A host can be a human or it can be an animal. A sick body, in short, is the perfect environment for a virus to replicate. That is exactly what has happened in the case of the patient in South Africa who was suffering from AIDS and where Omicron is believed to have been born. In the past as well, mutations have been seen in very unwell patients whose immune systems have been compromised. Now there is a growing demand for boosters, shots of the vaccines against COVID-19. India too is devising a strategy on the third dose or the additional dose. This has been much delayed. The World Health Organization is also all set to meet on the 7th of December to decide on the recommendations for boosters. Take a look.
Know that the virus has infected people who have received 2 doses of vaccine. We even know from the Israeli case that there is a person who had received a booster dose of a Pfizer vaccine, therefore 3 doses of vaccine, and still got infected. So we need much more clinical information.
There is a need and the time is now. That is the word from India's top vaccinologists, doctors, health experts on the third dose or the additional dose for those with poor immunity that may be severely compromised. At a time when the world has been confronted with the 5th variant of concern, Omicron, and India is unspared, there is a growing demand for boosters in India, hoping it would offer further protection to those with compromised immunity. The government so far has said they are studying the need for the additional dose.
बूस्टर डोज के लिए इसके इम्पेरेटिव्स क्या हैं, ये सारा अध्ययन, जब मैंने कहा कि हम जो वैज्ञानिक पहलू हैं इसके, उसको बहुत ध्यान से स्टडी कर रहे हैं इसके ऊपर पूरी नज़र है. It's an ongoing work.
But the world is in a fix, say experts, and we can't wait, as vaccine hesitancy or complacency is also setting in.
There are some concerns for India. Number one, there has been a vaccine hesitancy growing over past 1 month. And rather than having at least 1 crore vaccination per day, we are having 50-60 lakh per day. So we need to escalate vaccination. Number two, we do not know whether this vaccine will protect this variant or not. And therefore, we need to have newer research and see that this variant is also covered in the vaccination program.
The efficacy is dipping down even to 34 to 44%. Therefore, the urgent need of a third dose, which is now being called as a booster dose, but should be a part of the primary immunization. I think the boosters are extremely important in India. We should have a plan, especially for the healthcare workers, the vulnerable, and the elderly with comorbids.
The focus, however, of the government is on the second dose coverage. INSACOG, the consortium of labs undertaking genomic sequencing, has said that vaccination of all remaining unvaccinated at-risk people and consideration of a booster dose for those 40 years of age and above, first targeting the most high-risk, high-exposure, may be considered, since low levels of neutralizing antibodies from current vaccines are unlikely to be sufficient to neutralize Omicron. The risk of severe disease is still likely to be reduced. Sources within the National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization say that they're deliberating on the matter. But just yet, there is little clarity on when the concrete set of proposals for the additional dose or the third dose will be finalized. In New Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today. Well, after a large number of Omicron cases in South Africa, health experts are concerned over COVID-19 infections in children as young as 5 years of age. Meanwhile, there's a big question mark on when vaccinations for children in India will be rolled out. Here's
the mutant Omicron has raised fresh concerns in South Africa, as the country recorded 1,655 infections and 25 deaths on Friday. The South African Health Ministry says it is witnessing a sharp increase in new cases, particularly in children under 5 years.
Probability that clinicians are admitting patients as a precaution while there are beds available, and so more, young children are being admitted, whereas, later in the wave they wouldn't meet the criteria for admission.
South African health authorities say while the incidence is still low in children, however, it is now second highest in those under 5, next only to the incidence rate in those above 60. Gauteng province, which is the worst hit with up to 80% of daily infections, health officials are on high alert. Hospital admissions have been dominated by those who are not vaccinated and young people below 40. Back in India, the urgency of children's vaccination is still under a cloud, as experts continue to raise questions.
That's very worrisome, that we don't have anything for children yet. And we should try everything in our power to actually get it ASAP so that kids can be protected, because it's going to be also devastating if children get infected.
If you want to save our pediatric age group, other than COVID appropriate behavior, get yourself vaccinated. You should have 100% adult coverage, and we should approve pediatric vaccine as soon as possible, vaccinate them.
But Centre is dragging its feet over the issue. Zydus Cadila Zycov-D vaccine was meant to be the arsenal against COVID for children. Even Bharat Biotech's Covaxin for children is awaiting approval from drug regulatory authorities.
Well, the Indian government is on the view that children's vaccination is not a priority at the moment, and the second dose coverage remains most important in the country. The data shows that even during the Delta variant spread in the country during the second wave, children remained asymptomatic. There were some cases of MIS-C with complications, but that number was very low. But in the light of the recent Omicron mutant that has entered the country, concerns persist on children's vaccination and how soon can India work towards it to stay a step ahead of Omicron. With Ashwini Helen in New Delhi, this is Milan Sharma for India Today.
Throughout the pandemic in the last 2 years or so, the role of the World Health Organization has been questioned on their conduct vis-a-vis China and also on misleading instructions like the one on mass and airborne transmission. Here's the complete report.
The WHO is in line of fire since it declared COVID a global pandemic in 2020. The criticisms seem to have done precious little to make the global body mend its ways in 2021, when the world faces Omicron.
WHO has been assessing this outbreak around the clock, and we're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
But it was already too late. China had alerted WHO about the Wuhan virus on 31st December, prompting it to call a global health emergency on 30th January. An independent panel report termed the pandemic 21st century's Chernobyl moment. The panel said that WHO delayed declaring global emergency by at least a week, blaming the delay for world wasting precious time in virus fight. The list of criticism is long. First, it was the over-the-top praise for Beijing's early response to the crisis. Then, wasting a year before barely managing to send in a team of international experts to investigate the origins of the virus. WHO also let China dictate the parameters of its fact-finding mission. It was slammed also by then US President Donald Trump.
One of the most dangerous and costly decisions from the WHO was its disastrous decision to oppose travel restrictions from China and other nations. The WHO's attack on travel restrictions put political correctness above life-saving measures. The WHO failed in this basic duty and must be held accountable.
Look at WHO's flip-flop on face masks. On April 6, 2020, the WHO said use of face masks was not justified unless other protection measures like physical distancing were not possible. It was not until 5th June that the WHO recommended wearing face masks in high-density areas in regions hard hit by COVID-19. What followed in the weeks to come is the understanding that COVID-19 was airborne. The WHO refused to admit this for several months into the pandemic, even as experts asserted the possibilities. The global health body has also faced criticism for not calling for border closures or halt international air travel to prevent the virus from spreading. The WHO was then panned for its own regulations that travel restrictions should be the last resort. Even today, the WHO speaks against countries shutting down the borders to protect from the new variant. European nations are considering making vaccinations mandatory to contain COVID-19 spread. The WHO is yet to respond.
Throughout the pandemic, the World Health Organization seems to have dropped the ball on COVID-19. The World Health Organization has said that member states are themselves responsible as well for not containing the pandemic. But what happens of the role that the World Health Body was supposed to play at such a crucial time that has been termed as the 21st century's Chernobyl moment? With Pawan Kumar in New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
That's all we could pack in this edition of COVID 360. Until next time, stay safe and do take a shot against COVID-19 if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.